Afternoon all. Thought I'd try my luck again today. I'm at 2316, okay, clear blue water, and I am 2133. So can I carry on where I left off from yesterday? I've got the new concept to try and incorporate into my play of a docking computer, which if you look at the video about the importance of checking out forcing variations, it explains what that is. But let's think strategically here for a while. So he's inhibiting D6 unless I want to play it now. I can play Knight-E7 though. I can play D6. Maybe F6 if Bishop G5. Mind you, then Bishop D5 is on. Okay, I've got to use this B file pressure in any case. Maybe C5 and Bishop B7. Try and weaken the light squares a little bit of his king. Although my structures, he's trying to do the same. I'm going to play Bishop H8 if Bishop H6. So he'll probably, I don't know about Bishop B7. What is he going to do? Is he going to bring the queen in? I've got maybe Knight F5 to D4. Okay, now big thing about Knight D5. I won't be able to answer with F6 now. If I kick now, then there's I think this is the time to kick temporarily. I want to get in Bishop B7. If he leaves a pawn on D5, is it a big deal? Don't know. Knight D5, you know, takes CD. Can I use the E file? I'm not sure. I've still got my double pawns. He'll maybe win the endings here. Something else. Well, can I use D4 here now after he's blocked that? Okay, if I try and just use D4 for a moment. This is going to be a very hard part of the auto pairing, so I'll try and be optimistic, but I think I'm in for a caning. At this rating level, it's if not this game, well, the subsequent games. But let's be optimistic. At the moment, it seems a reasonable position. So I think Knight D4. If Bishop E3, maybe either F5 or Knight E6. Maybe this bishop can be part of a battery of a Bishop C6, Queen C8 to B7. Well, I'm just hitting the E4 pawn. Couldn't I just connect rooks instead with Queen D7 G4 maybe? Try and provoke a weakness. Queen D7 to G4. Actually, we'll be threatening Knight F3 if I can get that light square bishop off. His queen's probably heading for F4, I guess. This E5 is going to be tactical, but this is not an unprotected piece at the moment. It's protected by the rook on B8. What would the docking computer concept say here? I basically think there's no tactical vulnerabilities in White's position. Maybe Knight C2 is a forcing move, Queen C2. So if Queen F4, actually Knight C2 is implied to fork the rooks. So it builds up anticipation to take notes of a few things. There's Knight B3 as a forcing move. If the A pawn ever moved, then Knight B3, another note. Knight F5 as a forcing move. If the E pawn ever moved, then Knight E5 Knight F5 might be useful to hit the bishop. A few little notes about tactical vulnerabilities, but also, you know, E takes, Bishop takes G2, and then Queen C6 check. But then there's always Knight D5. Just another little note about potential weaknesses on this diagonal and the use of F5, and you know, potentially vulnerable bishop, then potentially vulnerable C2 square. Other than that, what other forcing moves? Queen H3 takes Knight F3. That's totally ridiculous. It does show F3, G4. These are weaknesses. I think I'm going to hit them now with Queen G4. So Knight F3. So actually, maybe it wasn't a waste of time. I thought it might have been, but there's some vulnerabilities, it seems, lurking around White's position. I think F3 is a key one. I don't know. Yet another IM is using a lot of time. I think these IMs are often perfectionists. So they might not be the best, you know, always for 5 minutes. But if I ever play Knight F3 takes, Knight D5 looks powerful. It's on C7, it's on F6. F6 okay, but C7 more painful. How would I defend C7? So in fact, he's offering that up. Knight F3 check. I can win the light square bishop. But let's imagine Knight F3 takes, Queen F3 takes F3, Knight D5. What do I do? Bishop D5, ED, I don't know. This bishop, the knight's pretty good at the moment on D4. So can I just try and keep his knight off? If I play c6, would that be ridiculous? c6 and then because otherwise knight d5 is just too powerful. Would I ever be able to play c6 after though? Maybe I can. If I just play rook c7, okay, let's go for that. Let's go for that. I'm going to take the risk, because surely these squares, you know, that is a strategic aim. Knight d5 is an annoying move. It might be accompanied by queen f4 on f6. So if I hit with c6 immediately, okay, he's not interested. Any forcing moves here? I can't see any. Queen d1, queen e3. No, let's just move this back. But now will come knight d5. So the menace is on its way. So knight d5. Forcing moves there. There's queen d1. There's bishop d5. There's queen h5 hitting the bishop, actually. In fact, isn't that bishop almost trapped after g5? If I play here, I'm threatening to play g5, trapping the bishop. He has got g4. I've got queen e5, so I'm actually threatening to win a whole bishop here. After queen f4, he's locked his bishop in. Right, forcing moves here. g5 takes. It's not working at the moment, but rook e5 would facilitate it. I'll try and trap. There's knight d5 to consider there, which is on f6, and then it gets dangerous. Mind you, the rook's on, so bishop d5 e takes. If rook takes, there's queen takes, then takes. So let's play this for g5. Very exciting. So we're saying that queen d1 is going to be useful in this line. Knight d5, bishop takes, ed, g5, rook e5, queen d1, check. King moves, ed. There's no killer check there. So actually, yeah, some forcing moves here is turning stuff up again. So g5 is actually threatening to win his bishop. What does he do about that bishop? So he plays knight d5. Let's look at this again. I take g5. Even rook takes e5 there might be okay. Okay, but what I want to avoid is knight f6 here. I think this would be crushing knight f6, so I'm going to take here. There's even another safe move, just rook e8 here, if needed. Okay, I think rook e8 here is a good safety idea, just to hold this threat for a moment. Unless g5 is more accurate? No, I don't think it is, because he can always do bishop g5 there, because the rook's now got lateral pressure on g5. But he's down to 30 seconds. So if I play this rook e5 again I'm threatening g5. So it's keeping up the pressure. He's just blundered a rook. We've made a note of that from earlier. The queen on d1. He's just blundered a whole rook. I cannot believe the start of today. 2-3, 2-4. I was expecting to lose, to be honest. I was a bit... I don't know if, you know, I was a bit worried about letting you guys down with some concepts, but it seemed to be okay in this game today. I don't know, it seems to be good to have a very strong tactical awareness in 5-minute chess, especially of the forcing ideas. So there's a forcing idea here which revolving around tactical vulnerabilities on h6 and d1, which seems to work out okay for the idea of trapping the bishop. And he must have avoided this idea of e takes. Maybe seeing this there, I don't know, but he didn't see it later. That d1's under fire. Just a whole rook blunder. I don't know what's happened to the IMs recently in the last 2 days. Comments or questions on YouTube? Thanks very much.